Welcome back to our YouTube Business Law video series. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular YouTube video we're going to look at the challenges associated with franchising from the perspective of getting into a franchise as a franchisee, which is that of the individual franchise location owner and not that of the franchisor. Now, franchising can be a way to run a successful business. Nevertheless, franchising is a difficult business model unless you get lucky and into the right franchise in the right location with the right clientele. Now, why do I say that? Being a lawyer who works with a lot of franchisees, it's simply the reality. The franchisor has all the power in the arrangement. The franchisee is merely a form of employee, manager, partial owner who takes on all the responsibility associated with the business. They are responsible for making sure the business is a success and making sure that everyone else is paid before they are paid, which is the major crux of any business, and in particular a franchise. Because you have to conform to the whole set of rules, systems, and requirements of the franchise system. They give you a model and you're obligated to follow it to the T. So even though you might see opportunities or ways to necessarily create new profit potential, most franchise systems preclude that opportunity. So it cuts back on innovation and ability to capture certain market elements that might otherwise be available to yourself and your business, given the particular community and customer base that you are dealing with. The franchisor controls through the franchise system. Now, this goes on to another aspect that's really critical to understanding why franchises are challenging, and that is the fact that you are paying a royalty to the franchisor based on revenue. So it doesn't matter if you're profitable or not profitable, you're paying a percentage of your revenue to the franchisor. So let's say you're breaking even. Well, at least you think you're breaking even. You're following through, you're buying all the products, you're having the systems, you're paying all the employees, and the numbers come back and you're breaking even. And then you have to cut your royalty check. And usually the royalty check is supplemented by an advertising fee check. And that is a straight percentage of the revenue you generate. And that is paid over, irrespective of the fact that you make profits or you don't make profits. Let's say often in the restaurant franchise system, oftentimes you're looking at a 5% royalty on revenue and another 2% royalty, well, not royalty, advertising fee. So you're getting 7% off the top, stripped and paid over to the franchisor. Now, this can be a considerable amount, and depending on the franchisor, there's generally very little leeway. So everybody's getting paid with the exception of yourself. And what you see with all too many franchisees is they make these payments and they start to lose money. And it's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world. Meanwhile, they get frustrated. All the money is going out. Employees are getting money. Managers are getting money. They're overpaying for supplies. And money is constantly going out and there's no profit being seen. And then they look at different aspects. And one of the major aspects is advertising and advertising fees. they're seeing 2%, sometimes even 3% of revenue going out to advertising, and the advertising is making no difference because they don't see the advertising. It might be at a national level, but it's not focused and localized. Another difficult challenge. It's one of those kind of things where the franchisees get frustrated. They want to make changes, but they can't. They have to follow through on the obligations. And this is what makes, from the highest level, franchising a difficult and challenging enterprise. You have to be aware of it. It can be successful, but you have to approach it properly. You have to look at your numbers when you sign off on the franchise documentation before you commit to it, to make sure that what you're doing moving forward is actually going to have the potential to make you a profit. As we said before in other YouTube videos, the franchisor is not going to provide you any point of reference as to whether or not you might be successful. They're specifically trained and instructed by their lawyers and by the upper management to not say anything about your potential. They can point to other franchises and say, whoa, this franchise is quite successful, but where are they located? How much staffing do they have and how much work do they do themselves? What other opportunities have they done to make their business a success? How hard do they work? Those are the kinds of questions you have to ask about your own particular business, because you can't be reliant upon the franchisor to make your business a success, nor can you be reliant upon the franchisor to create you a business model and a profitability structure that will lead to success. That falls upon you and the professionals you engage. It's not, and you can't limit yourself to looking to your lawyers and accountants, because they have limitations also. It'd be great if we could provide you with the depth of insight and research that you really need to look at, but most people don't even want to ask those questions. They think that I can figure this out for myself. This is a good system. I go down to other franchise locations and they look to be extremely busy. But being extremely busy does not mean that you're profitable. Being in one location does not mean you're going to be as successful in another location. As such, you really need to engage people who are going to spend the time, even though you're going to have to spend the money, to pursue this correctly. There are opportunities out there, but you have to make sure you're picking the right opportunity and you move forward on it correctly. Hopefully, when you go and pursue your franchise, you engage the right people. You put in the time and you make appropriate decisions, and you get the right location and the right opportunities for yourself. Because if you're not, you're going to unfortunately be throwing money away, and it's going to be a lost opportunity. That is not what I would like for yourself, and that's why we talk about this stuff, and we are somewhat pessimistic, so to speak, about franchise systems overall. But our pessimism is not drawn from being anti-franchise. Our pessimism is drawn from experience where people have made bad choices with respect to franchising, and we do not want you to make those similar choices. Instead, we want you to engage properly with the right people in advance. Spend the time and spend the money to make the correct decision before you commit to a franchise system. Because wouldn't it be better to spend several $1,000s and say, I'll just walk away from this because it's just not the right opportunity, as opposed to putting in your life savings and committing yourself, especially when you have the long-term commitments that are involved in most franchises, not only with the franchise agreement and the franchisor, but oftentimes with respect to real estate and the commercial lease, financing with the bank, the initial commitment, the other commitments you make, the commitments you make to your family. You don't want to see that all blow up in your face within a couple of years. And that is why you have to make the effort in advance. It may look good on the outside, but that should not be sufficient for yourself. It has to work for you, and it has to be the best possible opportunity for you to move forward. We hope this has been insightful. If you require legal advice on this matter, please feel free to contact us. But always look to get the appropriate professional advice so you can confidently move forward, because it ultimately falls upon yourself, and it is your money. It is not anybody else's money. The franchisor, before you sign off, is not due your money. So make the right decisions. Invest the time and money before you commit. Wish you the best of luck with your business ventures. We hope you've liked this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we look to help business owners and prospective business owners like yourself succeed in the business world. Thank you.